I actually keep Laramie on my weather app on my phone because we spent
Make
so much
yourself
time
feel
there.
better about what the weather is
It
in
was
New York City.
4 degrees below zero last night when it was 40 here.
I remember, I think there was a crew, a Division I crew that was in Laramie, and right after they were starting to go, they closed the roads, and they had a blizzard, and they were like 45 minutes.
You want to do it with
Same
Ira?
kind of concept.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God.
What is the temperature right now, Laramie? Let's see.
Yeah, tell me.
I do keep this on my phone.
13 degrees.
Well, it's 30, mine's 38 in Siberia.
Minus?
That's
Oh,
Siberia.
Siberia.
That's Siberia.
Look up Missoula.
Laramie is currently 11. 11.
Look up, where my friend going in Bozeman. Look up Bozeman if you don't mind.
Are you sure you want to do this?
I just want to know.
It may not end well.
I was stationed in FD Morehead in Cheyenne, so literally, I was like, oh man, this time of year is freezing out there.
It's a heat wave. It'll be fine.
Look and see if there's snow on. Look and see
Wear
if
these
there's
shorts.
snow on Thursday.
You're fine. But Wednesday, you're not.
I'm not going to be there Wednesday.
Then you're fine. They might plow by then.
I'm
Might be good.
I'm good.
And welcome back to South Point Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, here on day 4 of the 10th annual D3Hoops.com Classic. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, the tip-off between number 10 DeSales and Claremont-Mudd-Scripps, both teams coming in at 7-2 overall. I'm Pat Coleman, joined by Ira Thor, our good friend here courtside, as we get you ready for this game. And, it's been a fun event so far, Ira.
It's been a great tournament so far, a lot of quality basketball. A lot of memories for these young men and women who came out here to Las Vegas to experience this event. And for DeSales and Claremont-Mudd-Scripps, an opportunity to leave Vegas and set up the second half of their seasons.
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to set up the starting lineups first. For DeSales, they will start at the guard position with a 5'4" junior out of Gibbsboro, New Jersey, number 11, Isabel Caruso. Also in the backcourt, a 5'5" freshman guard out of Hampton, New Jersey, number 23, Maria Newsom. Another guard, number 25, Samantha Shinkus. She's a 5'8" sophomore out of Frackville, Pennsylvania. In the front court, Avery Jordan, number 3, a 5'10" sophomore forward, also out of Frackville, PA. And then Molly Jansko, a 6'1" senior out of Newfoundland, Pennsylvania, wearing number 24. DeSales coached by Fred Richter. Moving over to the starting lineup for the Claremont-Mudd-Scripps. They are the Athenas out of Claremont, California, and they start in the backcourt with Caitlin Nguyen, a 5'4" junior guard out of San Marcos, California, wearing number 3. Wearing number 5, a 5'8" junior guard out of Seattle, Washington, number 5, Kelly Keene. Another guard, a 5'7" senior out of Issaquah, Washington, wearing number 22, it's Lauren Longo. Forward, Kate Parrish, a 6'2" junior out of Seattle, Washington, wearing number 15. And wearing number 21, Lindsay Cleary, 6'1" senior post player out of Kirkland, Washington. Cleary with the bucket with 22.6 seconds left here yesterday to lift Claremont past St. Vincent. Claremont coached by Janelle Murchison in her first season as a head coach. And that is the starting lineup. Claremont in the white with the maroon numerals and gold trim. DeSales, blue, red, and white. And when they see someone with a warm-up off, I will tell you more.
Well, for DeSales, they had a good matchup against Amherst, number 6 ranked team in the country. Of course, DeSales coming in ranked number 10. And it was a very competitive first half, but third quarter to that game, Amherst just went on a run, which is what typically Amherst does to opponents, a 28-12 run, and just put that game away and eventually won by 21. And for Claremont-Mudd-Scripps, they need a better shooting performance here. Pat shot 25% to be able to squeak by St. Vincent, who St. Vincent gave Scranton a run for their money as well. So a lot of good matchups on the women's side here in Vegas.
Our officials for this afternoon's game, Jen Leach, Vincent Wallace, and Adam Candy. Glad you joined us. Welcome to the D3Hoops.com Classic for our noon Pacific time, 3 Eastern time tip-off. And the ball is quickly taken away and up ahead for DeSales. And the layup too strong for Caruso, but she will go to the line.
Yeah, drew the contact there. You would have liked to have the 2 points to get this one off to a quick start. DeSales coming into this game, they are 7-2 on the season after the loss to Amherst. And they've been a very good foul shooting team on the year, as coming in 72.1%. Opponents have not been as successful, just 56%. So an area where they've certainly separated themselves from their opponents.
Caruso came off the bench the other day, and she gets the start here this afternoon.
In the game against St. Vincent, we talked about the shooting woes that they had. It was consistent the entire game, 27% in the first quarter, 29% in the second quarter, 25% in the third, 20% in the fourth. They were lucky to survive that game.
3 ball on the way, out on the perimeter, shot no good by Keene. Offensive rebound, put back no good, and DeSales is on the run, going back. They're attacking the basket to the left-hand side of your screen here in the first quarter and first half. The three-pointer no good off the back iron by Jordan. Claremont-Mudd-Scripps, not the prototypical SCIAC team that you might see. They have some size in the post, whereas often, you don't see a 6'1" player like Lindsay Cleary. You don't see a 6'2" player like Kate Parrish. They're often a little bit undersized, and especially so in the backcourt as well. But this is a team that, nearly made the NCAA tournament last year and is in prominent contention this year.
That shot well off the mark. They saved themselves in that game against St. Vincent, Pat. Strong foul shooting as a team, 15 out of 17. Can they get to the line here against DeSales in this game and give them an opportunity, by forcing some of those shots aside, drawing some fouls? We've seen a lot of that here on the men's side in the tournament, where you've seen a lot of the post players just getting to the line and scoring from there. But on the women's side, they've been settling for the 3-ball a lot throughout this tournament, I've noticed.
Well, and it was definitely the bigs getting the shots at the foul line for Claremont the other day. There's a shot blocked by Parrish, but back into the hands of DeSales. Mid-range jumper, no good, around it off for Caruso, and it will be a foul.
And Parrish came in averaging 2 blocks per game. That's among the leaders in Division III. The 6'2" junior out of Seattle.
J.C. Carter checking into the game for the first time, a freshman out of Scottsdale, Arizona, and Kelly Keene goes to the bench. Keene scored 11, a team high in that 46-44 win. A little pressure here in the backcourt. They get it across, do not get it across the timeline. 10-second backcourt violation. And Claremont, a little bit maybe taken aback by the press, took a couple seconds to adjust, really took a second and a half too long.
Claremont, I should say, DeSales comes into the game. Their opponents have averaged 25 turnovers a game. And it's something that, well, 27 points a game is what DeSales has been scoring on average off of those turnovers. That's a big part of their game.
Nice turnaround in the lane, and it rattles home for Molly Jansko. Three 0 DeSales with the lead. Claremont working on the basket to our right. Shot no good off the iron for Cleary, and rebounded by DeSales. Caruso pushing it up the floor. Pass into the interior. Nice spin move. Off glass. Good for 2. Count the basket for Molly Jansko.
Jansko got the basket and drew the contact that we were not able to see DeSales get on its first possession down the floor. Getting off to a quick lead here. Something they did against Amherst before getting outrun in the second half.
Foul is on Longo, her first, and the free throw is good. And DeSales leads 6-0.
DeSales is playing good one-on-one defense up the court, not making it easy for the point guard to win.
Three-pointer from the near wing, and that is good. Nothing but the bottom of the net for J.C. Carter.
Carter with a quality shot there, an area that Claremont certainly struggled in, just 3 of 10 in their first game of the tournament.
6-3 the lead, 6:53 and counting remaining here in the first quarter of game 2 of the day. I've lost track, 14 of the tournament here at the D3Hoops.com
16
Classic.
total this year, right?
Right, exactly. That's what I was doing the math backwards now, because I can see the end coming. Ball turned over, bounce pass goes out of bounds, and it will be CMS basketball.
We mentioned that at one of our earlier broadcasts, I don't even remember which one it is at this point, but this year has been one of the few seasons where the women's matchups had clearly outmatched the men on paper. We've had 4 nationally ranked teams here. You have 10 overall women's programs here. It's been a good product for the Division III women's game at this year's Classic.
Yep. There's a three-pointer on the way that's no good, and a foul on the rebound. Right, the 4 top 10 teams plus Claremont, which is a
right
team that's been
the top 25.
Right, been getting a lot of consideration. St. Vincent in the past has gotten a lot of consideration and will be heavily in contention for its conference championship. Emmanuel came into the tournament at 5-4, but one of those wins was against Amherst
when they were number 1 in the country.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of talent here in women's basketball at this tournament, and you're right. Often we have some great often it's not quite
You've had the
same way.
Whitman and Ohio Wesleyans on the men's side, some of the great matchups I remember in recent years. But if you're a women's coach out there thinking about coming to Las Vegas, this is a great tournament and an opportunity to showcase your team on the national stage.
Yeah, I mean, our goal was to get those top 10 teams something resembling an Elite 8 game.
And you know what? In most cases, these are teams you're not going to see very much unless you actually make the commitment to travel nationally.
Cleary's shot no good, but Kate Parrish there with the rebound and the putback. And some pressure here in the backcourt, delivered by the Athenas.
Well, think about it. Yesterday you had the matchup.
Free ball no good.
George Fox and New England. Newburgh, Oregon, Biddeford, Maine, 3,200 miles in between. That's what you get out here, is some of these matchups that you may not even see in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, exactly.
We looked, by the way, at the map.
Suburban Allentown. Is it possible to call Center Valley Suburban Allentown?
I think you could say so.
and suburban Los Angeles. Here in Las Vegas. It will be heading to the line, Lauren Longo.
I've actually never been to either campus, but I've driven past both campuses.
I've been to both campuses. But the last time here's how long it's been. The last time I was at DeSales, it was still called Allentown College.
Wow. Talking about in the 90s.
Yeah, that's a 90s reference for sure.
Back when they were a national baseball power in the 90s.
I don't even remember that. That's I don't even remember that much. Three-pointer no good. Cleary battling for the rebound and is going to get called for the foul.
I actually got my start as a college baseball announcer and did maybe about a dozen games featuring DeSales when they were Allentown back between probably about 95 and 99. That was my first simulation with them.
DeSales in the front court. Caruso kicks it outside. 14 on the shot clock. Newsom steps in, takes an 18-footer, and hits it. Nothing but the bottom of the net for her.
Able to generate some space there. About 5 feet between her and the next defender. Stopped and hit a very nice jump shot.
Getting it across ahead of the pressure. Little floater doesn't go for win. Rebounded by DeSales.
Break opportunity here, 2-on-2.
Newsom pulls it back. Now dribbling in with it on the left hand with the right hand layup. No good is Beeler, and the ball will go out of bounds, and it will be CMS basketball.
Parrish, the center, did a nice job of getting back for the Athenas to cut off that passing lane. Otherwise, DeSales might have had an easy break coming down the right side of the lane. I love the nicknames, by the way. It's one of my favorite things about the SCIAC is some of the nicknames of the schools in the league. The Sage Hens, with Pomona Pitzer and obviously the Athenas
and the Stags, the men's Claremont.
Yes, can't forget that. Obviously a great tennis program at Claremont, among other things they've excelled at in recent years.
How do you feel about the nicknames in the MIAC?
I don't know them quite as well.
The Johnnies, the Tommies, the Olies.
The who? The Tommies? I'm not familiar with them.
The University of St. Thomas.
Oh, they're still in Division III?
They are, at least for another year and a half or so, as far as we can tell.
But there's some great nicknames in Division III. I mean, obviously, you have some of the great ones in the NESCAC.
That is true. Across the timeline with it under 4 minutes to go here in the first quarter. 8-5 DeSales with the lead in the basketball.
I don't think you have it online anymore. 2004, in the NCAA tournament that year for men's basketball, one of the national reporters in the New England area actually did a story on the nicknames in Division III and how that's one of the special things about D3 compared to D1 outside just the experience is just the originality.
Well, we are eagerly awaiting the return of the Banana Slugs from UC Santa Cruz to this event, which we believe will be happening in 2020. There are still spots available for the 2020 D3Hoops.com Classic. Drop us a line at info@d3sports.com and we'll get you hooked up, or you can contact Brett Seymour at Sport Tours International. They're the logistics people. We're the editorial people for this tournament, if that makes sense. That's how we split it up. Shot clock at 7.
We also talk a lot.
We do. That's editorial, right?
Yeah, part of it. It's all content generation.
Akamura's pass knocked away inside. Shot clock is at 3. In a situation like this early in the game the other day, I guess it was just yesterday, Claremont totally missed that they had a short shot clock, but I think they know it here. Pass coming in, maybe not.
That.
Here's the shot is away, and it's off to the left, airballed out of bounds.
That's got to come from the bench. Everybody has to be aware when there's a substitution.
It did. It did. I mean, Coach Murchison is up. She's making her calls. She's making her signals, and I don't know if Longo knew or not, but she picked it up eventually. And she's, a three-pointer is not unusual for her. That's a shot that she would normally take.
Yeah, but it looked for a second as if she was not even aware the shot clock was at 1.
I mean, I would agree with that also. Off to the right of the circle, now up top with it, back to the right. That's Beeler dribbling in, and Beeler is going to draw the foul.
Very aggressive there by Beeler. Down the right block, and unable to draw the charge was Bates.
So that's her first. And 5 team fouls on the board right now for CMS. Now this is a shooting foul, but they will also be shooting the rest of the way. First free throw is good for Beeler.
Bates also has some size at 5'10", the senior from Anaheim. It is impressive. You mentioned earlier how much size this Athena squad has.
And
not traditional.
Tie-up will go to CMS.
Yeah, that's one of the things to me that in women's basketball that gets kind of lost sometimes. The size can be overrated. You can have some quick guards, but if you can have some bigger players that have that athletic ability and can disrupt, come off of the screens and disrupt down low, it's such a great asset to have.
Yeah, and defensively too. We talked extensively over the last couple days about how long George Fox is defensively, especially on the interior, and how that makes things difficult for opponents. Moving into the front court, pass deflected, but corralled by Keene. That's Bates up top with it. Bates played pretty well off the bench yesterday. I'm just going to say yesterday. I'm pretty sure it was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
There's 6 games yesterday, and this is our second game of today. So, these things are all beginning to meld together.
Bates was yesterday able to provide 8 points off the bench. 3 of 11 overall, not the greatest shooting percentage, but it was an impact. And in a game that was 46-44, you need every point you can get.
What was the warning for, Dave? Oh, just for being outside of the box and that sort of thing? Coaching things? All right.
Got to keep the coaches contained.
Oh, yeah, good luck with that. Here's a 3 just from the right of the top of the circle. And hitting it is Kelly Akamura, 5'5" sophomore off the bench out of Honolulu. She gets on the board, and it's a 9-8 DeSales lead.
The ball was kicked, so it'll be out of bounds, and it'll remain DeSales basketball. But Akamura just 2 points yesterday off the bench, so already getting the 3-point column. Again, yesterday Claremont hit just 3 triples the entire game. Already 2 for 6 today.
Yeah, Akamura listed at 5'5", Wynn at 5'4". There's a little bit of size deficit in the backcourt, but obviously plenty open to make that shot. Here answering underneath is Avery Jordan.
Jordan doing a nice job hesitating that pump fake to give herself a little extra time to get the second shot off, and was nice shot high off the glass.
Couple of DeSales subs waiting to check in at the next dead ball. Minute 37 and counting. DeSales with the 11-8 lead here over Claremont-Mudd-Scripps, and crashing in and losing, having the ball deflected out of bounds is Flora Degarian. Flora Degarian from Brighton, England. Played on the Great Britain national team. Her dad played for Harvard. Those are the anecdotes I remember from yesterday. There's just 3 team fouls on the board for DeSales, and of course that was not a foul at all. It was an out-of-bounds play. Shot clock at 7. Dribbling in, floats it off the glass, no good. Doesn't draw iron for Wynn, and it's rebounded by DeSales. Wynn trying to steal it in the front court, nearly knocks it away, but it will go out of bounds and remain DeSales basketball. It's Newsom. Out between the circles, now goes right. Bounce pass for Caruso. Caruso gets it back, 12 on the shot clock. coming up on 1 minute left in the quarter, and there will be a travel.
Yeah, dragged their feet there. And the fact that Claremont will have the ball here down just one possession with a minute to go, impressive considering they're continuing to have shooting woes, Pat. Just 23.1% right now, 3 out of 13 to start this game.
Yeah, it's not much better on the DeSales side, which is why this game is close. 4 of 11, and then 0 for 3 from downtown. Up top, three-pointer on the way for Dragarian. That's no good off the back iron, and rebounded by Rittenhouse. Three-pointer on the way from the left wing, and good for Avery Jordan. Avery Jordan, her first three, second field goal of the afternoon. She's got 5.
Jordan had a team-high 16 points in the loss to Amherst and was 2 out of 5 from three-point range in that game. Need her to definitely step up in this one and have a game where they could separate, because Claremont continuing, as we said, to struggle from the field.
Yep, Dragarian has it knocked away by Jordan, and then it's Rittenhouse with the left-handed layup attempt, and she'll go to the line.
Rittenhouse was 6 of 6 from the line in the game against Amherst, and see if she can give DeSales potentially a double lead, 16-8. It was a 3-point game just a moment ago before that triple, so how quickly it can turn in a minute.
First foul shot rattles home. Rittenhouse's first point of the afternoon. Lines up her second shot. And that one is good as well. Sub waiting to check in. It will be Jansko coming back into the game for the final 9.6 of the first quarter. And Jordan goes to the bench. CMS bringing it up the floor. Nice job by Wynn holding onto the basketball, trying to get the shot off. Does, but it does not fall. And we will go to the quarter break with 10th ranked DeSales leading Claremont-Mudd-Scripps 16-8. We'll be back with first quarter stats in just a moment.
Receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
You may not realize it, but these words, often used to describe someone with a mental health condition, can be very harmful. In a country where 1 in 5 people are affected by a mental health condition, it's time for all of us to step up and change the conversation. Just because someone's struggle isn't obvious on the outside doesn't mean they aren't hurting on the inside. We need to see the person, not the condition. Join with me, pledge to be stigma-free.
Back out here at the D3Hoops.com Classic, DeSales with the 16-8 lead on Claremont-Mudd-Scripps. Ira mentioned the shooting woes for Claremont. Those first quarter numbers, 3 of 15 from the floor, 2 of 7 from downtown. They were out-rebounded by 1, 7 of 6. Turned the ball over 6 times and had 1 assist, 3 assists, 3 turnovers and 2 assists for DeSales. DeSales 5 of 12, as you saw there, and 1 of 4 from beyond the arc.
We talked about how DeSales its opponents averaging 25 turnovers a game, as this one's going to head
to Gordon.
Gordon loves anytime he has a chance for a rebound.
Gordon is loose ball guy on this game.
That's his official title.
I was loose ball guy on last game. 2 of them came right at me.
If you're a goalkeeper, that's great. You don't got to move.
Well, that is true. I did successfully goal keep both of them, but I only caught 1. 3-point ball on the way. This one is good from the corner for Kelly Keene.
Claremont needs those open opportunities if they're going to stay competitive. They have to limit the turnovers. DeSales outscored them off giveaways in that first quarter, Pat, 8-0, and not doing themselves any favor if they give it away and aren't able to hit from the field.
And they get the ball back, and we're looking for a shot clock reset. That seems appropriate. Should not be at 11. Yes, 28 seems a little more appropriate.
Seems fair to me.
Now they want 27. So we'll make it 27.
Officiating's been very good in this tournament. They really have. I I can't commend the officials enough. They don't see these teams really. I mean, unless they come here once a year.
Exactly.
I mean, Amherst and Renfrew really the only annual repeat.
Well, they have good
teams.
rapport with each other, good rapport with the teams, and they keep the games moving. And I think it's a nice, clean game. You know, I think people come here and they get consistent officiating. Nice three-pointer again, heating up right now. Kelly Keene back-to-back 3 balls.
Well, that's what they needed. They struggled from the field so mightily in that first quarter. If they can get a few points back on the triples, and they have, so it's a 2-point game suddenly.
Yep, 2 for 2 from the floor here in the second quarter. Both of them from beyond the arc. Both of them from Kelly Keene. Left-handed dribble. Rittenhouse taking it no good. Too strong, pushing it back the other way. Wynn swings near side for Longo. Longo dribbles in, maybe has it partially blocked. It's in the hands of DeSales, a 3-on-3. Speed and pass, up ahead, floater off the glass, good for Caruso.
Yeah, Caruso, good job catching it in stride and floating that off the glass before it can be swatted away. Another giveaway, though.
No, unable to finish it, though, and it's a defensive rebound for CMS.
And one other thing I will say about the officials, and I'll leave it at that, is, you know, fans get a little chirpy at times. You hear the things about,
I have the headsets on. I can't hear them at all. It's great.
It blocks out the noise. But they get chirpy. You know, why is there 10 more fouls on my team than the other team? But you know what? To me, as a neutral party, I think it's been fair and equal both ways, and that's what you want to see in these neutral site games.
Keene's shot left a little short. She followed it, got the rebound, but stepped on the out-of-bounds line.
Chirpy's a good word, right?
Chirpy actually really quite accurately describes what's going on, yes. And as for me, I would prefer to have the headset on as much as possible. I once had a blog post on D3 Hoops that was about half written and I never published about the stupid things that fans say at basketball games.
So that was your form of the Lincoln Letters.
Yeah, or the Pentagon Papers or something, right? It was one of my favorites was, and of course this was before the rule change, people griping about 10-second calls in the backcourt in women's basketball. Like, now for me in football, it is like people who assume that every time the defender crosses the line before the snap, that it's automatic offsides. It's like, no, that's an NFL rule. If they get back, if they don't touch anybody and they get back before the snap, then it's nothing.
Or people complaining about offside in soccer. I'm actually going back with my daughter, with Kendra, to get our soccer certification as an official.
Okay.
Because
you don't have enough pain in your life. You want to be an official.
Well, she wants to make some extra money. You know,
for her, okay.
She's 13, so it's a father-daughter thing. But yeah. I was like, you know what, Pat? I've heard so many people complain about offside over the years, and they don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Just do it myself. Make a little extra money on the side so I can lose it next year playing poker.
I
had a bad experience last night.
I think you were told to swear. You were told you were swearing off poker.
Yeah, that will never happen. That was a one-and-done club last night for me.
So Longo picks up foul number 2, and it remains in the DeSales end.
Another block.
Last thing on that really long aside before we let it go is that I spent a couple summers as a kid as a baseball umpire. Again, before I could get a real job, it was a way to make some cash.
This was before you were 18?
Oh, well before I was 18. Yeah, I was like 14. Basket for Emma Stanfield.
And to be honest, there's actually been some articles published across the country about how much, so much difficulty now in getting people even to want to be officials because of all the grief. I mean, the money, it's nice side money, but you're not going to get rich doing it. And is that little extra cash worth the grief?
Jergarian with the turnover. It's not, and that's the thing. It makes it really difficult for people to, the old guard are staying in as long as they can, but we're not getting a lot of new people into the profession, and that definitely is a problem. There is a three-pointer up and good for Emma Stanfield, and while CMS has been scoreless for the last 2.5 minutes, now DeSales has gone on a 7-0 run and extended that lead back out to 9.
And another turnover here on the backcourt violation. They were right there. It was within 2, 16-14, but DeSales, those quick 7 points and taking advantage of these Claremont giveaways. They got a
10th turnover and 4 of them in the last 2:44 for Claremont.
That's it. That's where we're going with that point. That has been DeSales' bread and butter throughout the first 9 games of the season for them. Forcing turnovers and then scoring off of them.
Bulldogs looking for the entry pass inside, and it's taken away. Long pass up ahead, corralled by Akamura. Swung around to the left side, wide open 3 on the way for Longo, and it rattles home.
Yeah, wide open there, great look, moving that ball, switching side of the court, and getting a little shooter's bounce.
Yep, first 3 of the afternoon for Longo. Lead back down to 6. Here's the Bulldogs on the other end.
Nice block.
Yeah, no good by Beeler. Rebound, pushed up ahead. And then overthrowing Shinkus, I'm sorry, wrong side. Just Baldwin inside. Akamura throws it away, and it will go back to DeSales.
Yeah, you can see the look of disdain on her face. She knew she had to throw a better pass there and was just a little bit off the mark.
Or not throw the pass at all, in all honesty. They did not need to keep pushing that one. Near corner. Looking for the 3, no good, off the front iron. Chasing it and following her own shot is Beeler, but there is a foul on the rebound.
Yeah, loose ball foul there, a little bit too over-aggressive was Jordan, not a foul she needed to pick up.
That is her first, and it is the first team foul here of the second quarter for DeSales. 2 on the board right now for CMS. 5:13 to go here in the second quarter. DeSales, number 10 team in the country in the D3Hoops.com women's basketball top 25. They lead Claremont-Mudd-Scripps by the score of 23-17. Glad you joined us here at the D3Hoops.com Classic. The 10th of these. Yeah, we're signed up for another. We're happy to continue to come to Las Vegas between Christmas and New Year's and see a bunch of top flight men's and women's basketball action. And there is a turnover stolen. Caruso taking it one-on-one to the hole. Right-handed layup, around and in. Caruso with 5.
We have enough of good of experience out here where, I mean, myself, I've been able to convince a few teams to come out here, and hopefully schools across the country will consider this. Yes, it's a commitment. You're coming out over the holiday break. It's time away from the family, but to me, this is an experience that these players will remember the rest of their lives.
Kelleher going in a little bit too strong. She's going to get called for the offensive foul. Her first, second team foul of the quarter. Yeah, and here's Fred Richter calling a 30-second timeout. It is an opportunity to do a bunch of things. We have heard, I think, more and more this season talking with coaches, and a bunch of those interviews are on the D3Hoops.com website. You can see them right now. More to come. I believe it's safe to say we will have all 16 teams. We've got 14 of them in the can right now, so feel good about that. But the teams and coaches talking about this is an opportunity to get away with your team and bond, right? Playing games over break and traveling is a new experience for a lot of kids. A lot of kids who come on these trips have never been to Vegas before. Some have never been on airplanes before, and it's just an opportunity to, be a team away from the classroom, away from, the stuff that you do in practice and your friends and that sort of thing, and just kind of have a team moment and create some of those memories.
Yeah, I did not know until I spoke to our coach at NJC. 3 of our own players had never even been on an airplane before, all freshmen, all just turned 18 years old. That's a great memory. They'll think about 15, 20 years from now. First time they ever were on an airplane, it was with their teammates, kids that come like brothers to them.
Akamura comes back out of the scrum with the basketball on a fresh 30. 4:14 and counting remaining here in the first half in the second quarter. And there is still a hand check, right? Thwarting, is that what you said? Warding. I'm gonna roll for thwarting. I'm sorry, I have like 6 hit points on thwarting. And blocking. Thank you. Dave is now just saying names of fouls. That's Kelly Keene who draws that one.
And just one more point on the officials. The article I was thinking of, I did just find it. I pulled it up here about the referee shortage nationally in youth sports. It was in a Philadelphia Inquirer article about 6 weeks ago that kind of touched on the problem nationally.
Yeah, I have seen a whole bunch of those. It has been heavily in this discussion for a couple of years now, and it is it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. Akamura almost loses the handle on it, picks it back up. Shot clock is at 4. Little crossover, goes into the lane, kicks it outside, 3 on the way. Good if it goes, but it's an air ball out of bounds. No good by Kelly Keene, and it will be DeSales basketball up 8.
a little bit better awareness there that the shot clock was winding down. Just could not get a good shot off as it was expiring.
Ball comes into the front court. A little bit of pressure there. Working in from the corner, stop, and actually doesn't stop. It's Rittenhouse keeps her feet moving after the jump stop. Called for the travel. In case you didn't understand my description of the violation.
I thought that was an excellent description, Pat. Even
Well,
if this is your 14th game.
Today. 3:19 and counting. Yeah, CMS continues to turn the ball over here in this quarter, but there is a three-pointer, and that is good for J.C. Carter.
They've been able to keep themselves in this game, surprisingly, with their three-point shooting. Now 6 out of 13. They're shooting 32% overall, Pat, but very close to 50% from three-point land.
And 4 for 6 here in the second quarter. Ball knocked away by Bates. Will go out of bounds. And will remain DeSales basketball. 14 to shoot, 2:52 remaining here in the quarter. Caruso inbounds. Looking inside, nice spin move. Partially deflected, it looked like. Shot no good by Jansko. And CMS pushing the ball up the floor. 2-on-4. Akamura kicks it back outside. Keene on the way for 3, a little short. And it will be a foul on the rebound that is going to go against Claremont. Or in favor of Claremont. 15th foul of the quarter, so foul shots the rest of the way for Claremont. Foul is on Jansko, her second.
Baldwin out of New York City, literally going all the way across the country for college. The 6-foot sophomore and an 83% foul shooter on the season.
First one good, second one also. And Cleary will come back into the game along with Caitlin Wynn. It will be Keene going to the bench as well as Akamura for Claremont.
Nearly everybody on the Claremont roster is West Coast native, somewhere between Washington, California, Hawaii. The only exceptions of note are Baldwin and, of course, their English native, Bulgarian. And they do have a player from Massachusetts in Hal Egan.
Well, and this is, one of the premier consortiums, or the consortium is one of the premier collections of small liberal arts colleges in the nation. It's on the West Coast. Claremont, McKenna, Harvey-Mudd, and Scripps are the 3 of those 5 colleges that make up the athletic teams for Claremont-Mudd-Scripps, although Harvey-Mudd as an engineering school does not contribute to many of those athletes. As CMS moves the ball up the floor, just talk about the other 2, of course, are Pomona College and Pitzer colleges, which you may know as Pomona-Pitzer.
We saw them, Dave McHugh and I saw in the NCAA Women's Soccer Championship. They had their best season of all time. First time a SCIAC team actually made the Final Four in women's soccer since 2004.
Bates with the basketball, shot clock at 6. Dribbles in, pull up, a little off balance, draws iron but does not fall. Chasing down the rebound, fresh 20. Cross-court pass, nope, it's deflected and stolen away by Emma Stanfield.
I actually misspoke. Our first West Coast team since 2004 when it was Puget Sound.
All right, even longer then for the SCIAC. Shot no good by Jordan.
SCIAC had never made it.
Tie up on the rebound and it will go back to CMS. I mean, the SCIAC is a conference that produces, in terms of champions and contenders, good baseball programs, quality tennis,
swimming,
water polo, if there were Division III specific water polo, but water polo is all one big championship. I think women's volleyball.
Yeah, women's volleyball, they've been very good over the years. But soccer has never been one of the sports where they've excelled at that level. So it is nice to see other, programs that haven't been heralded on the national stage getting in the limelight.
Buck 18 to go here in the first half. Wynn with the basketball. Spin move, looking inside, back outside. Baldwin drives in, forces it up, and is going to draw the foul. Really battling her way, the 6'1 sophomore, someone who could put the ball on the floor from the perimeter and drive to the basket at 6'1 is not something you generally see a lot of in Division III women's basketball.
It's a great asset to have, and what it does is present, especially as they get further into the season. Some huge matchup problems.
First one good.
It's like in men's basketball having 6'9" center who could step back and hit three. It's such a great luxury.
That actually scared the Jesus out of me when you suggested that was something someone might do. Second shot is good. It's a 1-point game here with 1:05 to go in the half. On the floor right now for DeSales. We've got Newsom, you've got Rittenhouse, you've got Stanfield, you've got Beeler, and into the game for the first time is Jillian Martin.
And by the way, it's something you're seeing a lot more of is the bigs that are able to be good jump shooters. They've developed that game, growing up, and when they get to this level, creates those huge matchup problems.
Three no good off the right iron. Ball tipped out of bounds and will be CMS basketball. Yeah, I think right, and it has also contributed to the fact that we don't really have a lot of pure fives in the men's game right now, right? People who are just post player back to the basket types. It's not really a thing anymore.
No, and I do miss that. I mean, I grew up in the '90s. Was a big fan of David Robinson and players like that, and just
nice
how
steal.
They played the game, and that's era begun.
No good. Stanfield with the layup off the feed from Newsom, and coming back the other way, CMS. Shot clock and game clock pretty well aligned. Shot no good. The three-point attempt by Longo, and the travel on the rebound. So CMS will get the ball back with an opportunity to take the last shot and go into the locker room with the lead.
Well, they got a 7-0 run going on right now. They've outscored the DeSales 19-6 here in this quarter after they were down 16-8 at halftime.
And they've done it all at the foul line.
No field goals in about 3 minutes.
Inbounds to Bates, and Bates is fouled right away. So Bates will go to the foul line herself. Bates, no free throws here so far today. She'll be going to the line for the first time. 2 for 2 the other day in the win against St. Vincent.
And Pat, both these teams really struggling from the field right now. I don't know if it's fatigue at this point, but DeSales at 32% from the field and CMS just 28%.
First shot good. Well, the interesting thing about that too is like CMS is 6 of 15 from beyond the arc. They're 1 of 10 from inside.
Well, it tells me just shoot from outside the rest of the game.
And I think that's exactly not what to do.
No more layups.
Foul shot is good, so DeSales with a chance here to take the last shot.
That's why I don't coach anymore.
Bulldogs working on the basket to our left. There's a little floater, no good. Rebound tied up, or a foul. Tied up, and it will remain DeSales basketball with 5.5 seconds remaining in the quarter. Stanfield, Beeler, Newsom, Rittenhouse, and Martin on the floor. Here's a three ball on the way by Rittenhouse, and it's off the back iron, no good. Long rebound being chased, and not able to get the shot off in time is Beeler as she was trying to take it back to the basket. So we will go to the half with Claremont-Mudd-Scripps leading DeSales 26-25, a quarter in which they battled back into it. They were down, of course, at the quarter, 16-8. It became a double-digit deficit, and here we are with CMS having battled back to take the lead.
Now, I was impressed with the fact that Claremont had the wherewithal to stay with it. They didn't get down on themselves when they made that big run to get within 16-14, and then all of a sudden DeSales turns around and pushes it to 23-14. Since then, a 12-2 run overall for the Athenas, and they've put themselves in position here in this second half that if they can control the basketball, don't give it away, hit some quality shots. Both teams are struggling right now, so DeSales not putting themselves in position to really have a lot of success, and it's opened the door for Claremont to take advantage of some of the things, part of their games that they are strong at. DeSales needs to go back to forcing turnovers. We talked about it in the pregame, Pat. They score 27 points per game. As a team, they average 74. So you're getting roughly 40% of your offense off of turnovers. They've not done a good job of that here in this game thus far. Points off turnovers so far, 15, but they've given up 11.
CMS finishes the second quarter on a 12-2 run. They lead 26-25 at the half. We'll be back in a few minutes with more halftime stats.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that. And it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
This is why we love sports. It's in the way they play, free from the pressures and all the money talk. Playing for simply the love of the game, where everyone has a shot at their definition of success on and off the field. This is what we love about sports, and what we can still love about college sports.
My name is Marcus Walker. I was All-State, won a state championship, a high school All-American, and played college and pro ball. I played because I love the game. I grind to be the best. I sweat because I put in work. I'm strong because I believe. When I want to bring it before game time, I come to the house that college basketball built, the CBE. No matter your skill, take it to another level. Elevate your game right here at the College Basketball Experience at Sprint Center.
It starts right when you hit the court. You imagine your finest moment. The game-winning shot that gets you to the dance, a monster dunk or no-look pass, and cutting down the net. Sports lets us dream of our own success and prepare us for our finest moments on and off the court.
Worthless.
Don't trust them. They'll hurt you. You're worthless. It's pointless.
It's on us to stop sexual assault. in any way that we can.
To get a friend home safe.
To never blame the victim.
It's on us.
To stand up.
To make our community safe for all.
It's on us.
It's on us to look out for each other at parties.
It's on us.
To be more than just a bystander.
To step up and say something.
It's on us. All of us.
To stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
I coined my definition of success in 1934. My definition of success is peace of mind attained only through self-satisfaction in knowing you made the effort to do the best of which you're capable. It's like reputation and character. Reputation is what others perceive you to be. Character is what you are.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
I used to never really talk. Ever. I was afraid if I said something wrong, everyone would laugh at me. But then I started to play golf with Special Olympics. It helped me to find my voice. And now everyone else is speechless.
Football has taught me a lot throughout my life. It's definitely had a huge imprint on who I am as a person. Competing at a Division III level created that opportunity for me to go to college. Not only was I the first one in my family to graduate college, but I was really the first one to even go. Being the first one, I'm breaking that cycle, and now that I've graduated, I'm not sure what's the next step, but I know I have a lot of doors open. And a lot of those are open because I played football and ran track here at Otterbein.
Great moments are born from great opportunity. That's what you have here tonight. That's what you've earned here tonight. This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
You may not realize it, but these words, often used to describe someone with a mental health condition, can be very harmful. In a country where 1 in 5 people are affected by a mental health condition, it's time for all of us to step up and change the conversation. Just because someone's struggle isn't obvious on the outside doesn't mean they aren't hurting on the inside. We need to see the person, not the condition. Join with me, pledge to be stigma-free.
Coach of the Year, Administrator of the Year, All-America Team, Wade Trophy. The WBCA doesn't just honor coaches, but players, administrators, and much more. The WBCA strives to honor those who have contributed to the advancement of women's basketball. Celebrate the present, honor the past, look to the future.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school. It's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
Diving in college taught me to strive and be the best athlete I can be, but also the best student I can be. My coaches always made sure that the student comes first, because not everyone's going to become a professional athlete. So they make sure that we will do great in academics. I knew that would only open the door to my future, and I'm really excited to start my dream program for physical therapy.
bronze ball. I would say, are you a boxer or a good fielder?
Back out here at the 10th annual D3Hoops.com Classic, South Point Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, 26-25. Claremont with the lead on number 10, DeSales. Little look at our halftime stats. Both teams struggling from the floor, but it's Claremont from the outside that's gotten them back into this game. They finished the first half on a 12-2 run, primarily fueled by that 6 of 15 shooting from beyond the arc, 4 for 8 in the second quarter. Out-rebounding 18-5, but turned the ball over 15 times. And Ira, you talked about the fact that that's what DeSales wants to do. Obviously, a lot of teams want to do it, but DeSales has been pretty good at it this year.
No, they've executed that really well throughout the year. I threw the stat out before the break that opponents have been averaging 25.1 turnovers a game, and DeSales has then turned that, which is the key. Because sometimes you force turnovers, but you don't get anything out of it. Yeah. They've averaged 27 points a game off turnovers. Opponents have only scored 11.5 per game. But right now it's in a 15-11 margin. Claremont's being able to find themselves points, not only from the 3 game, but also forcing those turnovers and using something off of it. And I got this great sideline report from BJ Spiegelmeyer, the legendary SID for DeSales. And he says, and I quote, "I'd like to just see us stop fouling and make more shots."
That's just solid advice for like any game, right? Let's talk about foul trouble. Only 8 fouls here in the early going for Claremont, but 2 of them by Cleary, 2 of them by Longo. 10 fouls for DeSales, 2 apiece for Jordan and Jansko, Shinkus, and Kelleher. And obviously, Jansko a little bit limited by that foul trouble. She played only a little over 14 minutes in that first half. Shinkus played just 4.5 minutes in that first half. And just to refresh here, CMS in the white with the maroon numerals and gold trim, working on the basket to the left on your screen here in the second half, and the 3 ball is on the way and good for Kelly Keene. So right away, extending that lead out. On the opposite side, it's DeSales in the dark blue with the grayish white numerals and red trim on the basket to the right here in the third and fourth quarter. Claremont with the basketball in their biggest lead of the afternoon, up by 4. To refresh on the lineup here, but there is a turnover, and it will be DeSales' ball. DeSales comes back out with Jordan, Caruso, Newsom, Jansko, and Shinkus. We mentioned Shinkus limited by foul trouble in the first half. Claremont comes back with Wynn, Keene, Parrish, Clary, and Longo. In the front court with it, Newsom with the basketball for DeSales. Bounces it off for Caruso. Shot clock and a ball deflected, but kept by DeSales. Shot clock now at 9. Shinkus, and Shinkus is going to draw the foul. Foul against Kelly Keene will be her second. So she joins Cleary and Longo with 2 fouls apiece for the Athenas. Shot clock resets up to 20. Newsom, top of the key, swings right. Bounce pass inside by Shinkus, and it's immediately tied up. Jansko has it tied up by Parrish, and it will remain DeSales basketball. Shot clock at 12. Jordan with it. Nope, Jordan travels. Jordan, a bit of a shuffle before she put the ball on the floor. Her first turnover of the afternoon, 9th on the game for the Bulldogs.
15-2 to run here for CMS. We'll see if they can build upon that. DeSales is getting some adversity here. They're facing adversity. Amherst did the same to them in the third quarter in that first game a couple days ago. How do they respond?
Parrish shot no good.
This is not, the typical type of team they're going to see in the Mid-Atlantic region or in the Atlantic region.
Either
I get mixed up. I get mixed up which region they're in.
Sometimes I forget that. I still sometimes forget that the MAC Freedom is in the Atlantic.
Yeah.
And which teams are in the Freedom versus the Commonwealth. I know.
What
different year it'll
differs
change,
sport
is
to
that what you're
sport.
saying? Oh, that's true too. Well, I only really have to worry about basketball for Freedom and Commonwealth. I don't have to focus on baseball that much.
21 sports I have to worry about, so it's hard to keep track sometimes.
Congratulations with that. 3-pointer on the way for Caruso. A little too strong off the iron. Shinkus put back, and it rattles in. First points of the second half for the Bulldogs.
And that's going to be, I think, key here is those second chance opportunities. Both teams are missing a ton of shots right now, Pat. Yeah. Who's going to do the little things to clean up afterwards, follow those shots, and get those second opportunities? They may miss again, but you have to put yourself in position.
Neither team with a bunch of second chance points in the first half. Not a lot of offensive rebounds. Wynn kicks it back outside. Shot clock at 8. Wynn gets it back. 3-pointer from the corner for her. No good off the back iron, and it's rebounded by Jansko.
Yeah, both teams, by the way, you mentioned very little second chance, scoring just 4 points per team at this point.
3-pointer good for Shinkus. And DeSales retakes the lead 30-29.
They needed that. They were just 2 out of 11 for three-point range prior to hitting that one.
Up top with it. Now dribbling in. Shot from the elbow is no good. And rebounded by DeSales. Newsom pushing the ball up the floor. Gives to Jordan. Jordan puts it up, and she's going to go to the line.
Yeah, Jordan did a good job right there of coming in, dropping the shoulder, but not making enough contact where you could be an offensive foul, then drawing the actual contact as she went up for the layup. So she'll go to the line here where DeSales hasn't had a lot of opportunities so far. Just 7 shots. They've made 5. And
first shot good. She was 4 of 4 from the line against Amherst.
She was one of 5 players for DeSales that had 5 points prior to that shot. So they're not getting anybody who's standing out right now. What DeSales has gotten is some balanced scoring early on.
And they've gotten the last 7 points as well. And steal out in the ball taken away, and then a foul in the process.
CMS has not scored in over 3 minutes. And definitely do not want to find yourselves in a scoring drought after you had the lead at halftime.
So Jordan picks up foul number 3. First foul in the half, in the quarter for DeSales. Bates looking to inbound and gets it in for Akamura. Right-handed dribble. Up top of the key, now goes right side. Gives it up for Bates. Swings left for Carter. Carter dribbles in, back outside Bates. Shot clock at 8, into the lane. One-hander in the lane, rolls over the top and in.
Yeah, good looking shot there, creates some separation, about 14 feet out. Needed that to end the scoring drought.
Shinkus looking to bounce it to somebody in the post and misses. Bates taking it back the other way, kind of loses her balance, throws it up, and is going to get bailed out with a foul.
Yeah, she did. Bailed out is the exact word to use there, Pat, because she had an opportunity to knock it to Akamura. She could have just thrown a nice bounce pass and had her wide open on the right side. I don't know if she didn't see her or what, but she'll go to the line and with a chance to redeem herself.
Rittenhouse foul number 3. So now, very quickly, Rittenhouse and Jordan both in foul trouble here in the early going in the third quarter. Bates makes the first. Bates now 3 of 3 from the line here this afternoon.
Claremont's been perfect so far, 7 of 7 from the stripe.
You talked about that as being one of the keys of the game. Here's the second shot, and that rattles home as well. So the Athenas retake the lead 33-32. Pressure in the backcourt. DeSales gets it across the timeline with a couple seconds to spare. Newsom with the basketball, guarded by Akamura. Now left with it is Rittenhouse. Picks it up, shot clock 14. Gives on the baseline, and Newsom is going to go to the line. Newsom, nice little reverse layup, right idea. She left it a little short because she was pushed as she released it.
And CMS did a good job defensively there of trapping on the left side, but she got loose, did Newsom.
Akamura's foul, her first. Shot good for Newsom with one more coming. Makes them both, and DeSales retakes the lead 34-33. Full court one-on-one. Newsom on Akamura, brings it into the front court. A little bit of a screen, and here's a foul away from the basketball. That's going to go against Kate Parrish, and Parrish picks up foul number 2. A little trapping in the backcourt, but DeSales gets out of it, but Akamura deflects the ball away and then is going to get called for the foul. Akamura aggressive with the first tap, and then seeing that the ball was loose, went really hard after the basketball, but too hard.
Yeah, Akamura just had to tip that up in the air to herself, and she would have had a break. Instead, the push-off got a little lazy there.
It's her second foul in very short order, and Newsom makes another free throw. Newsom now 3 of 3 from the line, 5 points on the afternoon. Second shot good as well. DeSales lead back up to 3. Bates looking to inbounds, got to get it to someone, and Akamura comes and gets it. Brings it into the front court. 36-33, she has it stolen away. Newsom going one-on-one against Akamura. Too strong, gets a rebound, tries to put it back up, and she is fouled.
Newsom did a solid job there. She missed the shot, and instead of pouting about it, immediately turned around, pivoted, went right back up, and gave herself a chance to connect from the line here. She was that far out in front of every other defender, with the exception of one, that she had that time to recover.
So a 30-second timeout being taken here by Chanel Murchison. 19th turnover that was for Claremont. Just 4 of them, Jess, 4 of them in the first 5 minutes here of the third quarter. With a chance for that to result in points. And then, of course, the foul on Parrish is her third. Parrish and Keene with 3 fouls apiece for Claremont right now. DeSales making its third trip to the D3Hoops.com Classic. They were here in 2011 and in 2015. For Claremont, this is the first time that they have made the drive from LA to Las Vegas, but hardly the first SCIAC team to do so.
Well, based on that trend, we'll see DeSales back here in 2023.
I'm fine with that. I'll still be here. First shot good for Newsom. Now a perfect 5 of 5 from the foul line. And 6 of 6. Tournament record for most free throws, or best free throw percentage by a women's basketball player at the D3Hoops.com Classic is 9 of 9. And that was, this is one of our older records. Tiffany Gregorich of UW River Falls back in December of 2011 good start here right now. Here's Caruso off the outlet pass, and the DeSales lead is back up to 7, 40-33.
And I know she didn't get there, but credit to J.C. Carter, who sprinted all the way down the floor and at least attempted to disrupt that shot. You know, that's something that I think coaches will love when players, they may get beat, but they don't give up on the play.
There's Bates from 18. Basket good, stems the 8 unanswered points by DeSales. Caruso from 22, no good. And Bates there for the board. Bates pushing it up, 3-on-2. Kicks it off, three-pointer on the wing coming, and good for J.C. Carter.
Yeah, Carter, we talked about her a moment ago for that defensive play, but the rookie from Scottsdale, Claremont's hit 8 triples in this game. They are certainly using that as a catalyst here to remain. That's a 2-point game. They keep finding a way.
Definitely kept them in this ball game, but underneath, easy bucket for Jansko off the bounce pass from Shinkus. 42-38. DeSales with the lead, Claremont with the basketball.
And by the way, they've gotten threes from 4 different players so far, so they've spread it out nicely. Yeah, Keene and Carter are both 3 for 6. Nice percentage, but they're not the only ones.
Akamura spin move. Shot clock at 10 gives to Bates. Bates in the paint. Little hook, no good. Parrish put back and count it.
Yeah, Parrish just too much size there at 6'2", and an easy follow. And listen, DeSales is getting all they can handle from Claremont today.
And they missed Parrish when she was out because of foul trouble. There's a shot that is no good by Shinkus, goes out of bounds. Will be DeSales basketball. Substitutes coming in for DeSales. It'll be Grace Kelleher checking into the basketball game. Emma Stanfield is back in as well. Lindsay Cleary back into the game for Claremont. Oh, it is Cleary, Wynn, Bates, Keene, and Carter on the floor. A little bit of a smaller lineup right now for Claremont, down by 2. Bates with the basketball, that's her right of the circle. Guarded by Stanfield. Now Keene with it, back to Bates. Bates dribbles into the paint, loses the ball on the way up, and she's fouled. Bates will be going back to the line here. You know, just the 3rd foul of the quarter for DeSales.
You know, regardless of the outcome of this, Pat, this experience, this tournament is good for DeSales because you look at their schedule on the year. Obviously, they are the class of the MAC Freedom by a long shot, but you know,
first shot good.
They really haven't been challenged this year. You know, they had 2 losses to Scranton and to Amherst. You know, 2 of your top 10 teams in the country. Other than that, the only game that's even been close for them was a 5-point game back in late November against Moravian. So they're not going to see a team like a Claremont-Mudd-Scripps very often. Regardless of the outcome here, this is going to prepare them mightily for the MAC Freedom. They need to win. They need to be that team that runs the table and goes into the NCAA tournament, gives themselves a chance potentially for a home game.
Now Bates made the 2 foul shots to tie it up, and now she got the steal. Going one-on-one, put it up and in against Grace Kelleher, and Claremont retakes the lead, 44-42.
She did a nice job there, dropping the shoulder, trying to draw the foul, and still followed the shot. Did not, lose sight of the...
Shinkus answers with a 3.
The goal of making that initial layup. So many players are trying to draw contact so much that they forget about the initial shot, which is the most important part of the whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to finish.
It's nice to start. It's better to finish.
both of those things have to happen, right? Here's Bates, little stutter step, picks it up, back outside. Cleary from way downtown off the back iron, no good, and rebounded by Kelleher.
No, she missed it, but I tell you what, that was a good look.
It was
NBA
right on
range.
Yeah, and it was straight on. She had a good look at it. She was very much open. And there were 8 seconds left on the shot clock. There was certainly a possibility. Might have been able to do something else with it. Claremont on the afternoon, just 1 of 6 on those 3 balls from straight on. 4 for 8 from the right wing, 2 for 6 from the left wing, and 1 for 1 from the near corner. But struggling, well, haven't really gotten the ball in the paint that much. They're, let's see, 3 of 6 underneath the basket, 1 of 7 elsewhere in the paint, as the first foul shot for Kelleher is no good. DeSales obviously making a living underneath the basket, 14 of their points from there here in this ball game so far. Second shot good.
You love those new analytics, don't you?
Are you kidding me? I love those. Give me all your NCAA live stats. I am all down with it. Genius idea.
I see what you did there.
Win with the basketball. 46-44, DeSales with the lead, but not for long as Carter for three, her fourth three-ball of the afternoon.
Carter is having herself a game. She came into today averaging just 3.3 points a game, but she's a good three-point shooter on the year, 47%, and she's been cooking today.
Shinka shot in the corner, no good, and rebounded by Claremont. DeGarian pulls it back out, picks up her dribble, looks in the low post for Cleary. Cleary putting on the moves, kicking outside. Carter on the way for three, no good. Off the back iron, battle for the board. Jump ball called, and it will be Claremont basketball. 53.2 here to go in the third quarter, 19 on the shot clock. Good ball movement by Claremont. We don't get to call, haven't gotten to call Lindsay Cleary's name a lot in this tournament, as she came up with big buckets down the stretch in the St. Vincent game, but was quiet, did not even shoot in the first three quarters. Haven't called her name much here today either. DeGarian straight on three, top of the key, and nails it. 50-46, CMS with the lead now.
It is crazy to see how they have emerged from three-point range in this game. They only average under 5 threes a game. They have 10 in this game now.
Pull-up jumper, no good for Shinkas. Gets a rebound, throws it up, and she's going to go to the foul line. Nice job by Shinkas staying with it. She stepped in, took a higher percentage shot, didn't get it to fall, got her rebound, and now she'll go to the line for 2 free throws.
CMS 10 out of 24 from three-point range. We haven't even gotten through 30 minutes. DeSales just 4 out of 15. And, you know, both teams are shooting under 40%, but if Claremont can pull themselves away here with the three ball, they have an upset in front of us.
2-point game. Shot clock off here for the third quarter.
Claremont's got just 8 points in the paint, but they've been able to use the threat of going down down low to get these wide open shots. Carter, can she find herself open again in the corner?
Here's Wynn with it, up top for DeGarian, same spot. This one off the back iron, no good. Shinka saves, and it's going to go out of bounds, so it will be Claremont basketball with 0.8 seconds left in the quarter.
Just enough time to make a catch and shoot.
Inbound underneath their own basket. Looking for Cleary, guards it to her, gets it off, but heavily guarded by Stanfield, and the shot is no good. But we're going to go to the fourth quarter, and we're going to put the upset alert tag on this one. Claremont leads 10th ranked DeSales 50-48. We'll be back with more from the D3Hoops.com Classic.
It starts right when you hit the court. You imagine your finest moment. The game-winning shot that gets you to the dance, a monster dunk or no-look pass, and cutting down the net. Sports lets us dream of our own success and prepare us for our finest moments on and off the court.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that. And it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
Going to the fourth quarter out here at the D3Hoops.com Classic. Claremont leads 10th ranked DeSales by the score of 50-48. Pat Coleman along with Ira Thor, Dave McHugh producing this game with aplomb, A-P-L-O-M-B.
And Gordon Mann, he's eating cake.
Gordon Mann, it's big slice of cake day for Gordon Mann here, day 4 at the D3 Hoops Classic.
Gordon
DeSales here down by 2. It was a great quarter from beyond the arc, and Claremont shot 8 of 17 from the floor in the third, which is a fair sight better than they had done earlier.
Yeah, big improvement after a very sloppy first and second quarter from the field. But I'll tell you what, they get a couple more of these threes. They're going to put DeSales back in their heels.
Jordan back into the game. Gives it down low for Jansko. Nice move around Parrish, then goes right and is going to draw the foul from Parrish. It's going to get called. Parrish is going to get called for it. Let's put it that way.
That is, in my opinion, the first bad call I've seen in this game. I thought Parrish did a nice job of keeping her hands up, avoiding contact there.
And that's her fourth.
That's why she had that surprised look in her face.
Yeah, she was not in the game for very long in the third quarter, and now she will not be in the game for a spell here in the fourth quarter as well.
Well, DeSales has size. How much can they exploit the Athenas down low without her on the floor?
They're 8 of 17 underneath the basket at last check. Jansko's first foul shot is good. I mean, that's 16 of those points. That's basically a third of what DeSales scored in the first 3 quarters. Tied it up at 50 apiece with 2 foul shots.
Mark this down on your potential turning points of the game with Parrish picking up those 4 fouls. We'll see how this changes the ability for CMS to go outside in, or inside out, I should say.
I tell you what, though, Bates has played really well in this tournament, and she's the one who's getting the call when Parrish is not in the game. Cleary outside, three-pointer on the way, no good by Longo, and it's rebounded by DeSales. The bench played really well for Claremont in the third. A lot of the starters back into the game right now here to start the fourth. Jordan, pass over in the corner for Beeler. Back out top with it is Newsom. Shot clock at 14. Newsom picks it up to Jordan. Jordan dribbles left, crossover, back for Newsom. Shot clock at 5. She's in trouble out on the perimeter, gives it off to Jordan from 26 feet. Does draw iron. Rebounded by DeSales and then deflected out of bounds. Still DeSales basketball. Jordan, nice job, knowing that the clock is ticking down. She's not going to get a good look. Just threw it up and somehow got the iron.
One thing I will say, and you gave Bates a deserved compliment before, obviously a very different style game than Parrish. Bates not only gets down the floor well in transition and just helped create there, you saw how she got out on the perimeter and pretty much shut down any looks, forced a off-balance shot that DeSales is very fortunate to have a second chance here.
Newsom with the basketball, shot clock ticking down once again. Jansko around and in for 2. DeSales retakes the lead.
But that's where DeSales is going to be able to capitalize here. Without that 6'2" defender down low, they're going to get easier looks at these layups.
Jansko has 11. And DeSales is back on top. Win with the basketball, guarded by Newsom. Dribbles in, kicks it back outside for Cleary. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Left-handed dribble off her foot. And touched last by Cleary. It will be DeSales basketball. On the floor right now for the Bulldogs, Jordan, Stanfield, Beeler, Newsom, and Jansko. For Claremont, it is Wynn, Bates, Keene, Cleary, and Longo. So the other thing about these stats is it makes the game reset so much easier. I no longer have to search around to find who's the 5th person I missed. Jansko gets fouled and will go to the line.
So basically you're saying to all the SIDs out there nationally, if you haven't already adopted Genius, do so.
Go Genius. Hashtag Go Genius. And then also, provide the live stats rendition that provides all this extra information also.
So you like Stat Broadcast also?
Well, I've always loved Stat Broadcast.
I feel as if they should be an official sponsor of Hoopsville. Call Dave.
I have no call in that, so that's you can have a conversation about that. Jansko, good and good again. 4-point ball game.
Hey, Nate Policar, if you're watching this broadcast out in Arizona, call Dave Quincy McHugh. He'd like to speak to you.
Is it actually Quincy?
It is now.
Oh, I gotcha. So 4-point deficit here for CMS. They have the basketball. DeSales retaking the lead. Jansko, good from the foul line here in this quarter. Cleary with the basketball, dribbles left, gets caught up in traffic, has it taken away. Newsom leading a 3-on-3 fast break for the Bulldogs. Dribbles right, kicks off. Jordan up top, around and off, no good. Rebound battled for and going to the floor with it is Claremont and drawing the foul in the process.
Good look there by the Bulldogs. I thought that Stansfield did a really nice job of just that quick touch and go to have the shot on the wing. She caught it and immediately, like a hot potato, got it out for a quick 3, just didn't fall.
It's Jansko on the foul. She picks up her third, first foul of the quarter for DeSales. They lead 54-40. CMS with a basketball. Wynn guarded by Newsom out to the left. Looking inside for Cleary, can't get it to her. Longo gets a little push, recovers. Bates with it, top of the key, inside. Cleary, spin move, no good, but she is fouled. And if that's Jansko, that's number 4 in very short order. 3 and 4 on back-to-back possessions, and that will be a decision that DeSales will have to make here. Now they're going to bring in Rittenhouse, who played quite a bit in the first 3 quarters, played 18 minutes, but only 2 points to show for it. And a rebound. Cleary's first foul shot good. Cleary, all-conference player last year for CMS, so this is her first point of the afternoon, and she went the first 3.5 quarters without scoring against St. Vincent yesterday. Second shot good, cuts the lead down to 2.
Well, I don't want to jinx them at all, but Claremont, 12 of 12 from the line.
Nearly stolen away by Bates. Goes crashing into the camera and the table. She seems to be all right. Yep. The camera stayed on the table. Table moved.
Gordon
It's
Mann.
well taped.
Gordon Mann not injured on the play.
That's good. Good point. Stolen, the inbounds, taken away by Keene. Keene win.
Lost the scoreboard
Bates,
for that reason.
Cleary, yeah, exactly. We no longer have the clock. Momentarily, we'll get it lined back up here. Claremont with the basketball. Win around and in. Tied up. Once again, 54 all.
Yeah, Win aggressively. Not one of the larger players in the floor, but man, she is aggressive, and they need that in the final 6.5 minutes. Need points from somebody else. They can't just rely completely on the 3 ball.
6:15 and counting. Here's Jordan underneath on the give and go. Nice feed by Rittenhouse, and it's a 2-point lead once again for DeSales.
And you're seeing right there not having their 6'2" center out there hurting CMS. I'd like to see her get back in the game. I think she's at the table if I'm looking correctly.
Ball taken away or deflected, but unable to save it into the hands of a teammate is Megan Beeler. 14 to shoot, 5:56 remaining in regulation.
They're actually going to Jane Baldwin off of the bench here.
Baldwin back into the game. Baldwin getting the feed inside, and Baldwin getting to the foul line as she got hit by Rittenhouse putting the ball up.
Got smashed in the face on that one. You can see the discomfort. It's not easy to be the post player sometimes. You're going to get beat up. And can you shake that off and hit some free throws that your team needs down by 2?
Well, she's hit 4 of 4 already here this afternoon. She's got 7 points. Stuck at 7 as she misses the first.
First miss by CMS in this game. By the way, DeSales, no slacks themselves. 20 of 23.
That's pretty impressive. Second shot also no good for Baldwin. Fresh in the game. Had a chance to cut down the deficit or tie it up. It remains a 2-point lead for DeSales. Dribbling in. Driving the baseline, shot no good, and looks like it's going to be Shinkus drawing the foul from Bates. Nope, from Kelly Keene, and that is foul number 4 for her. Keene had 3 3-pointers in pretty quick succession early on. That has been on the bench quite a bit with foul trouble.
Well, that's now 3 consecutive missed foul shots.
Ever since you started talking.
What does that tell me? Got to keep my lips sealed.
Shinkus makes the second, so it's a 3-point lead for DeSales.
Is there a no-hitter going on somewhere?
I don't know. I have not checked my Mexican Pacific League stats for today.
There's a no-hitter going on through the 8th inning. Turn it on. Poof, it's gone.
ESPN Deportes is all over it. CMS with the basketball. Longo dribbles out between the circles, gives it off for a win. Shot clock at 10.
What's the other thing you're not allowed to talk about? Overtime?
Politics and religion at the dinner table. Here is Win with the basket and the foul. Chance to tie it up with a 3-point play.
He's done that a couple possessions here in this 4th quarter, taking it to the rim, not afraid of the contact, and chance to tie it up here. Such an aggressive player.
Win, a 5'4" junior guard out of San Marcos, California. Gets the ball, takes a second to collect herself. 3 dribbles, foul shot on the way, all tied up. 57 apiece with 5:11 to go.
She's only taken 6 shots in this game, but just her ability, out on the court.
And stole it away. Steals it from Shinkus, trying to outrace Newsom to the basket. She gets it. CMS leads.
She has completely turned this around, forcing a 30-second timeout.
Yep, Fred Richter wants to talk it over. They had led, of course, by 4 or 5 here in this quarter. CMS has battled back into this to take the lead. They've made their last 3 from the floor. And Richter not liking what he sees, and especially if you are one of your key players, one of your key guards gets the ball taken away from them at midcourt, turnover, steal, bucket. Good time to have a conversation.
Wynn had 3 assists after 3 quarters, but she had not scored, so all 7 of her points have come here during this late stretch. Again, not the size of some of the other players on the floor, but have been impressed with her tenacity. The wherewithal at midcourt to be patient enough to poke that ball away and then pick up the steal. Can't win without Wynn. I had to go there eventually.
Wow, man.
It's game 14.
That's free marketing slogan for the folks over at Claremont-Mudd-Scripps. Feel free to take that and go with it. And 10-second call. DeSales didn't have a lot of sense of urgency to bring it into the front court. Claremont had pressure in the backcourt, but not nearly enough that you would think a 10-second call.
You question, were they even aware coming out of the break that they only had about 4 seconds to get it over? And the CMS bench, man, they erupted in excitement over that.
The Win with the basketball, guarded by Newsom, 59-57. Claremont with the lead in the leather. Pass left for Carter. Carter, nice loft pass inside. And coming up with the layup is Jane Baldwin. Great loft pass over the defense. Baldwin takes a dribble, step back, easy angle off the glass for 2. Rittenhouse at the foul line. Bounce pass outside for Newsom. 16 on the shot clock. 4:15 to go here in the fourth quarter. Newsom crosses over, dumps it off for Jordan. Jordan puts it on the floor and is going to get called for the offense.
Wow. I thought it was just going to be a block there by Baldwin, but she stood her ground and got called for the offensive foul. I was a little surprised by the call, quite frankly, but I agree with it.
A foul number 4 right there for Jordan. 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here. Coming up next, there's a great game going on right now, but we also have other games here at the D3Hoops.com Classic. Earlier, second-ranked Scranton held on against St. Vincent 63-57. Coming up after this, 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. New England time for Keene State against Emmanuel, and then our final men's basketball game of the tournament will follow, scheduled for a 4 p.m. Pacific time start between UW River Falls and Muskingum. We've had all of these games for you here from the D3Hoops.com Classic, and this is a classic one right here.
Yeah, this has been a great game. You're starting to hear some chirping. We talked about that in the first half, chirping from the crowd, disagreeing with that last call. But to me, Pat, I thought it was a good call. I didn't see it at first myself. That's why I'm not an official, but she came in, lowered the shoulder, and made it easy for the official there on the baseline to make that judgment. That's the way it's interesting that Keene State coming up next. 2 games out here, both against opponents from New England.
This is Claremont with its biggest lead of the game and a chance to add to it. Looking inside for Baldwin. Baldwin rises up over the top of the defender. Jansko, no good. And there's going to be a foul that's going to go against CMS.
Yeah, and Baldwin, she patted herself on the chest. It was like, that's my bad there. I know that was a lazy foul. There's a level of aggressiveness you want to see, but if you don't box out and then you push off, as you're making it so easy for the officials to make that call.
Again with the pressure in the backcourt. Newsom brings it across the timeline. Guarded by Akamura. 19 seconds to shoot, 3:35 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Jordan with it up top, playing with 4 fouls. Jansko with 4 fouls. Outside for Caruso. 7 to shoot. Shinkus steps back, three-pointer on the way, off the front iron, no good, and there to collect the rebound is J.C. Carter.
And a tremendous job by Gloria Bates to box out there, completely eliminated the potential for DeSales rebound.
Oh, nearly stolen by Caruso, deflected off or out of bounds. CMS inbound in front of their own bench.
And by doing that, allowed Okamura to kind of swoop in along the baseline. Claremont needs a basket here. They need a stop after this. It's quickly become one of the better games of this tournament. And you know what? Claremont's making a case for themselves that maybe they are a top 25 team.
Base left-handed dribble, stops in the lane, kicks outside. Carter, three-pointer on the way, no good, front iron. Okamura tries to corral the rebound, but it is going to be picked up by DeSales. Jansko there to collect it.
Yeah, she had a good opportunity there, but stumbled over one of the DeSales players' feet on the floor. Can they get a stop?
Newsom guarded by Okamura. Everybody outside the perimeter now flashing to the paint and unable to get it there. Ball taken away by Beeler.
Gotta force it inside.
By Longo. Thank you. Yes.
Why force it inside when you're down by 4 with under 3 to go? Get a good shot off.
Exactly. Plenty of time. Lots of things have been working for them inside today. But maybe a little bit of trouble because you're playing with two big players with 4 fouls apiece. There's Baldwin over Jansko. Jansko with 4 fouls can do nothing but play Matador. And it's 6-point lead now for CMS coming up on the 2-minute mark.
And credit Carter on the assist there, seeing Baldwin and allowing Baldwin to make that quick and turn. She's got like a little baby hook coming as she turns. And up 6, Claremont, a big opportunity here.
Yeah, now both teams in the bonus the rest of the way. And there's the foul is on Bates, her second. First, team's 5th, as mentioned. So Shinkus will go back to the foul line where she is 3 of 4. We mentioned DeSales 21 of 25 from the foul line today, now 22 of 26. Needing these points, down by 5 with 2:05 to go. Second shot, this hits everything and goes down. 4-point game, pressure in the backcourt. Inbound comes to Longo. Longo brings it into the front court, going to take it all the way. Goes baseline, kicks it outside. And the Athenas will set it up with Wynn running the point. She dribbles left, guarded by Newsom. Now up top with it is Keene. Keene dumps inside. Baldwin, shot no good. Rebound, no good. Blocked by Shinkus, but the rebound is out of bounds. Jansko standing on the end line as she picked up the basketball.
Yeah, an excellent block there, avoiding a foul. Baldwin was a little bit off balance on the putback, which allowed her to get rejected on the play, and they're going to now, with under almost 90 seconds left, finally going to bring back in Parrish. Baldwin played well off the bench, though. Gave her credit.
Yeah, good point in a couple of spots there. Nearly stolen away by Newsom right in front of us, but able to deflect the pass, but not able to bring it in bounds. No, able to bring it in bounds.
She couldn't
foul. There we go.
Yeah, she couldn't bring it in bounds, but what she did was she had enough possession. Wynn bumped her, and it was right in front of the official, right in front of us, quite frankly. I had my hands on a laptop.
I see you were protecting a laptop. I saw that.
I like my MacBook. I'd like it to last another game.
Newsom at the foul line, and the first shot is good. Newsom now 7 of 7 from the line. She's got 9 points. 24 of the 60 points, now 25 of the 61 from the charity stripe for the Bulldogs. 63-61.
After 2 very lopsided opening quarters, CMS outscored DeSales 24-23 in the third, each team with 13 points in the fourth. What a great ending to a great game here in Vegas.
Well, that ending yet to come with 1:21 to go. Ball nearly stolen away by Shinkus, and now DeSales does take it away. Jordan with numbers on a 3-on-2 fast break, and is going to go straight into the defender, Kelly Keene, and draw the foul. So for Keene, that is foul number 5, and she is out.
Keene tried to reach in, knock the ball away. She never settled her feet there and allowed herself to be bowled over. But you know what? It was a blocking foul there, an easy call for the official. If she had used the left hand, I was watching her try to knock the ball away, use the left hand, push into space, she would have had an opportunity to then pick it up. Instead, she put herself in a vulnerable spot.
63-61 our score. Second shot on the way for Jordan. She hits that one. 1-point ball game with $1:11 to go. Wynn guarded full court by Newsom, brings it into the front court. Left-handed dribble between the circles, trying to keep Newsom away from her, and a timeout being called by Chanel Murchison. Murchison, seeing her point guard in trouble, 45 feet away from the basket, decided, this is a good time to have a conversation. A full timeout. We'll take a break, and we'll be back out in 1 minute. The score, Claremont 63, 10th ranked DeSales 62 here at the D3Hoops.com Classic.
The love of the game. But for those of us who are Division III student athletes, it's more than that, a lot more.
Sure, the game is important, but as we work so hard to build both mind and body, it's more about team.
That is why NCAA Division III teamed up with Special Olympics, and in giving the gift of sport to those for whom it seemed an impossible dream, we are working to make this a better world.
Help us keep that dream alive.
You can make a difference.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Back out here at the D3Hoops.com Classic, 59.4 seconds to go in regulation. Claremont-Mudd-Scripps with a 63-62 lead on 10th ranked DeSales. The possession arrow points towards Claremont. Both teams in the bonus the rest of the way. That's Claremont in the white, DeSales in the blue. Inbounds into the backcourt, 15 on the shot clock. Wynn guarded by Newsom. Wynn along with Bates and Baldwin and Carter and Longo with the basketball. Shot clock at 5. Bates putting it on the floor. Steps back, throws up a wild shot that airballs, and it will be DeSales basketball. Great job by DeSales out of the timeout, denying even a good look at the basket.
Yeah, that was a desperation shot. Something, if you're Claremont, you need a better shot selection, knowing that you're only up by 1. Now they're going to have to rely on a defensive stop. What do you do if you're DeSales here?
Well, first thing, we take a timeout so we can inbound in the front court.
Oh, it's a full timeout.
We'll keep it here.
You want to talk about this?
That's what I'm saying. Go.
I mean, if you're DeSales at this point, I think you have to go down low. See if you can get, what they've done a really good job, and been specifically on the right side of the lane where they've been able to create some space. See if you can get that shot down low. If not, kick it back out and get a shot from the perimeter that you can live with. DeSales hasn't shot well from three-point range today, but they've shown that they have the ability to hit some shots if they can just, not force the selections.
They've got their starting lineup on the floor. Does DeSales, Jordan, Caruso, Newsom, Jansko, and Shinkus. Jordan with 4 fouls. Jansko playing with 4 fouls. Claremont had a more substantial lead just a few moments ago. They've turned the ball over 3 times in the last minute and 33 seconds, including the shot clock violation.
Yeah, not a great finish for themselves in terms of ball control in the final 2 minutes. If I'm DeSales here, I probably want to use about 25 seconds or so of this clock. Get it down. If you do not score, you have plenty of time to foul, make them shoot. I know Claremont's shot very well from the line today, but even if they make both, it'd only be a 3-point lead.
You want to try to go 2 for 1 here? Score quickly? That's also an option.
I mean, that's not lots of options. You could play for overtime too, but I don't think anybody wants to do that.
No, I'm okay with overtime somehow. I don't know why. Shinkus out on the perimeter, guarded by Carter, gives it off for Jordan. Jordan at the elbow, no good. Rebound, offensive rebound, put back, basket! Basket for Jansko and a timeout. DeSales retakes the lead. Claremont takes a timeout. They'll bring it into the front court here with 27.6 seconds left, but CMS now down 1, but has the opportunity to take the last shot.
Yeah, and that was an option we didn't even talk about. They did have the initial nice feed down low, did not force it, kicked it out, had a jump shot about 14 feet. It was a good look. It didn't go, but they boxed out and got that second chance, and hasn't been a ton of offensive rebounds in this game. DeSales that was only their 8th the entire game, only their 12th second chance point. but it couldn't have come at a better time. DeSales needs to get a stop here on the point guard on Wynn. Wynn has proven the ability to kind of penetrate, and if she doesn't score herself, kick it out, and has created a lot of shot opportunities for CMS. Again, we talked about it on the previous possession. If you're DeSales, did you want to work the clock down? No, they went for your option of getting a quick shot in the first 12 seconds. Well, if I'm CMS here, I'm certainly playing for the last shot.
Right. Then what you want to do in this sort of situation is you take that last shot with about 6 seconds or so, leaving yourself an option for the offensive rebound. But in the women's game, of course, that leaves you with the opportunity that DeSales, which still has a timeout, has one more opportunity. If they get that rebound, they can bring it into the front court and have a legitimate shot with 5 seconds left or so.
Yeah, and they're going to give themselves an opportunity here. If they can get this stop, they'll be forced to go to the line. They've, looking at the stats here, missed only 5 here, 31 trips to the line for DeSales today.
DeSales has scored the last 7 points. CMS trying to score last here. They're down by 1. 21 seconds remaining in regulation. Outside for Bates, and there's going to be another timeout here as Claremont very close to losing control of the basketball. Now they'll inbound underneath their own basket with 18 seconds to go.
Exactly what we were talking about. Wynn trying to penetrate. She traditionally has been going in this game down the left side. First time we've seen it on the opposite end of the wing, and then kicked it out, but a bad pass. Thankfully, Claremont head coach Chanel Murchison, I almost messed up the first name, had the wherewithal to call the timeout there, saw the discomfort Wynn getting trapped about 8 feet off the baseline there. So what do they set up?
I'd be looking to get Bates inside, get Baldwin inside. Remember that CMS did not shoot well early on from inside the paint or from underneath the basket, but they've done much better at that lately. Bates has done a good job, and we saw, remember, a couple of quick baskets from Baldwin as well. Those are both opportunities. Lots of things in the playbook open to you when you're inbounding underneath your own basket with 18 left and you only need 1 to tie.
And Bates has a great game, good tournament, probably a candidate to be on the all-tournament team with 12 points today. Maybe they go to her.
Akamura to inbound on her own baseline. They still have 2 timeouts left. Into Baldwin. Baldwin shot right away. No good. Rebound by Jansko, immediately fouled.
Baldwin has a great look, just left it short. Off the front rim, not using the backboard there. Give yourself at least a chance for an offensive rebound. By leaving it short, you had 2 DeSales players right in front of you. You don't have any opportunity for the rebound. And then a quick foul.
Yeah, and Baldwin didn't have quite as much room to work with offensively as she's been accustomed to here this afternoon. Jansko's going to go to the foul line. 15 points for her on the afternoon, 5 of 5 from the line.
I felt as if she rushed a shot on the inbounds.
I didn't
she
think
had
she
enough
rushed it.
time to catch it
First
and
shot,
then go back up.
First shot, no good. So DeSales could lead by 2 after this. That CMS would still have an opportunity to tie or possibly win the game in regulation. Second shot, good.
Interesting enough, prior to that free throw, DeSales had been just 3 of their last 9 from the line.
Timeout taken by CMS with 14.9 to go. Taken by DeSales. So does that mean that CMS has to call it themselves to bring it into the front court? DeSales setting up what it wants to do, talking about what it wants to do defensively. CMS has the opportunity, the option of trying to bring it full court and saving that timeout for trouble, or using it right after this one and bringing it in. And I think that is what Murchison is talking about with our official right now. DeSales, 7-2, lost to Amherst here yesterday. Claremont, 7-2. They beat St. Vincent on a bucket by Lindsay Cleary with 22.6 seconds to go yesterday in the D3Hoops.com Classic. We will be getting another timeout here. So there is Claremont's timeout to bring the ball into the front court. All right, Ira. So the person we haven't talked about is the person who is the all-conference player who made the game-winning shot yesterday, Lindsay Cleary, who's got just 2 points here this afternoon.
Had a very quiet game, only even attempted 2 shots. So they have not found a way to get her involved whatsoever.
And they've not brought her back into this game. She is on the bench right now.
That is an interesting call. She's got 4 fouls, but at 14.9 seconds left, that's irrelevant. You want to get your best players out there. Maybe they feel as if right now she doesn't have the hot hand.
So no timeouts left for either team right now. So Claremont is going to be playing with what it's got. They're down by 2. 10th ranked DeSales trying to hold on. They scored the last 8 points. Will it be enough? 14.9 to go here in regulation. Carter, Wynn, Bates, Akamura, and Baldwin, and Wynn with the basketball. Guarded by Caruso, 45 feet away from the basket. Game clock at 10. Kicks outside. 3 on the way from Akamura. Big rainbow, no good. Jansko with the rebound, and she is fouled. And of the many options, I didn't think Akamura shooting from beyond the arc was the one that we were going to see.
Definitely not the shot that I was envisioning, and it was certainly forced area rainbow. That's a great descriptor right there. Claremont played so hard in this game, needed to give itself a better shot in the final 5 seconds.
Yeah, they have made just 1 of their last 7, haven't scored in the last 2-11, and now Jansko to the line with a chance to seal this up. She makes the first, making it a 3-point game.
Plenty of time if DeSales misses this.
Not a lot of time, though. Out of timeouts, and they have to go the length of the floor. Second one, and that is good. And it's going to be academic here. Inbounds comes in. Akamura across half court, launches it, and it is no good. And that is the ball game. DeSales, led by double figures, lost the lead. Claremont led by multiple possessions, but DeSales scores the last 10 points, and they win here 67-63.
Well, we talked about how they had not been challenged much this year. This is a good character-building win for the Bulldogs going to the second half of the season. Came out here to took on a national championship caliber Amherst squad and did not fare well. CMS is knocking on the doorsteps of the top 25 and really made DeSales work for it today. As they enter Mac Freedom play, they're going to have this experience to fall back on because they could have folded down the stretch. They were able to shut down Claremont, held them scoreless, for the final about 2:15 of the game. You got those defensive stops that you need. You got to get, your offense is not always going to come through. If you can count on your defense to get a big stop in these pressure moments, and they got it here in Las Vegas.
They certainly did. Good challenge for them. They come away 1-1. Both teams come away 1-1. That's your final score, 67-63. A look at the final stats. Claremont from the floor, 20 of 54, 37%, just a little bit better than DeSales. 10 of 28 from beyond the arc. The number that's not on there is the foul shooting, 29 of 35 from the foul line for DeSales compared to 13 of 15 for Claremont. Rebounding pretty even. Assists pretty even. Claremont kind of got the turnovers under control as the game went on, but not enough as they turned the ball over 3 times in the final 2:15. They go scoreless in that span. DeSales scores the final 10 points to win 67-63.
And Claremont in this game, what kept them alive was their bench. 41 of their 63 points came from their reserves, but they did not get much from Cleary. Again, we talked about her just a moment ago, just 2 points, just 2 shots as well. Parrish only able to provide 4 points in serious foul trouble through most of this game. And while the bench carried them, the last few minutes, not able to get anything from any contributions in a moment that could have been a season-defining type win for Claremont-Mudd-Scripps.
So the Athenas fall to 7-3, and they were led off the bench by J.C. Carter with 12 points, 4 of 10 shooting, all of them from beyond the arc, along with 3 rebounds. Gloria Bates also off the bench with 12 points, 3 of 5 from the floor, 6 for 6 from the foul line. Jane Baldwin off the bench, 3 of 7 from the floor, 1 of 1 from three-point range, and 4 for 6 from the line for 11 points. Kelly Keene with 9. It was Caitlin Wynn with 7. Kate Parrish with 4. Kelly Akamura and Flora DeGarian with 3 apiece. Lindsay Cleary with just 2 points. Lauren Longo held scoreless for the total of 63 points. 20 of 54 from the floor, as mentioned, which is 37%. 10 of 28 from downtown, 36%. 13 of 15 from the foul line, 87%. Claremont out-rebounded DeSales 29-28. They turn over the ball 24 times compared to 16 for DeSales. And the Bulldogs, as they improve to 8-2, they were led by Molly Jansko, 18 points, 5 of 7 from the floor, 8 of 9 from the foul line. Very key free throws down the stretch for her, leading to the game high 18 points. Samantha Shinkus with 13 points, 3 of 9 shooting, 2 for 5 from downtown, 5 of 6 from the line. Maria Newsom with 10, Avery Jordan with 10, Isabel Caruso with 7. It was 5 for Emma Stanfield, a pair for Riley Rittenhouse. Grace Kelleher and Megan Beeler with a point apiece, and Jillian Martin played but did not score for the total of 67 points. 17 of 49 from the floor, 35%. 4 of 18 from downtown, 22%. 29 of 35 from the foul line, 82.9%. 28 points for DeSales off of the 24 turnovers for Claremont. Points in the paint with an edge, 26-18. Fast break points, 18-9. Obviously, CMS, huge performances off their bench, not actually great performances from their starting 5.
No, we talked about the lack of scoring production, probably a turning point in this game. You know, the bench is the bench for a reason. You know, you're happy to get the production for sure, and that's a good sign, you know, for the second half of the season as they jump into conference play in January. But your starters have to come through in these big games. This is an NCAA tournament caliber game, Pat. This is the type of matchup that they will face if they're fortunate enough to get to March. Got big players got to play in big moments.
So for my broadcast partner, Ira Thor, for our producer, Dave McHugh, for Gordon Mann, Larry Redloff, and everybody else involved with the D3Hoops.com Classic, we'll sign off for this game. Of course, there are many more games to come, but the final score here, 10th-ranked DeSales defeats Claremont-Mudd-Scripps by the score of 67-63. Come back in a few minutes on a new stream for more from the D3Hoops.com Classic.